Welcome once again to my office. Welcome to another weekly wow, our word of the week. Our word this week is the word surrender. We are concluding a brief series focused on radical discipleship. Next week, I plan to put a capstone on the series. We have thus far considered the dimensions or descriptions of radical discipleship that we encounter in the New Testament. Words such as maturity, conformity, nonconformity, character, holistic, and this week, the word surrender. My love for alliteration would suggest completeness, conformity, nonconformity, character, comprehensiveness, and to concede our lives to God. But I prefer surrender. Better yet, surrender to what matters. Surrender to what counts. Yield also catches the sense of this word as I think about Romans chapter 6, very common translation, yield yourselves to God. You will never be worth much to God in your Christian life until you learn to surrender to what counts. That saying, which was spoken to me by an elder over 35 years ago, is memorable. To make a difference for God, we have to learn to surrender to what really matters. Discipleship must include surrender. Discipleship without surrender is certainly not radical discipleship. In fact, it does not look much like discipleship at all. I place surrender last in our list as a summary, but in reality, surrender, submission, is foundational. It's the beginning point. It is the ultimate expression of thinking like Jesus. I think of Philippians chapter 2, verse 5, have this mind, this thought, this attitude of Jesus, who humbled himself, who gave himself, who surrendered himself, if you will. Until we learn the lesson of complete surrender, we will continue to think that the Christian life depends on us and that success is all about what we do. Until we learn the lesson of complete surrender, we will not likely become effective servants or slaves in Jesus' kingdom. Now, a caveat, do not be confused. I'm not talking about surrendering to the busyness of everyday life, the minutiae, the trivial, the urgent. These are hardly worthy of being the focal point, the center point in our lives. Surrendering to what counts is very difficult in the world in which we live because there are so many tasks, good projects, commendable activities that call for our attention. We have responsibilities in our homes, in our work. We invest and devote our time to the matters of the moment, the needs of our children, sports, entertainment, leisure, various kinds of things that we enjoy. The choice of the best over the better, the best over the good, is seldom possible without extreme effort, extraordinary effort. So I wonder if we can see ourselves as clearly as God sees us. What is really number one in your life? The only thing worth giving our lives for is that priority of God. Surrendering to what counts. Surrendering to what counts will cause us to discard some things of this world that are considered by most important. We'll think of them as unimportant. We'll think of them as trash, as Paul uses the concept in Philippians chapter 3. The world teaches us certain values, but surrendering to what really matters leads us in a different direction. Jesus also calls it cross-carrying. That's surrender. Cross-carrying, as Jesus describes it, will demote self, possessions, reputation, even family, and certainly the accolades of others become less important. Surrendering to what counts opens new doors of service and effectiveness as kingdom disciples, because what really matters in this world is the business of the king. That's the attitude of the radical disciple. Paul describes it once again in Romans chapter 6 as yielding. This is our trust. We put our confidence. This is our conviction. That's how the writer of the book of Hebrews describes it when he talks about faith as confidence and conviction in Hebrews 11:1. Surrender will set our priorities and reset our values. May it be. May we pay the price, count the cost, surrender to what matters, that we might be radical disciples at the very root, the very core of what it means to follow Jesus. Thank you for sharing this time with me. Remember that God loves you. I love you. That's the way it's going to be. Let us go forth this week with this word challenging us. Surrender. Until next week, may God bless us as we seek to serve Him.